I'm Stephen Wright, and this is Gone Fishing. Before we jump into our virtual reality application, we must first set the stage for our pond by scanning the room in a standalone augmented reality application. Simply follow the green arrow to trace the boundaries of your personal space and watch as a dynamic black line outlines the room, capturing every detail to map the position of the fishing pond. Carefully guide the scanner with a touch of exploration and care, ensuring that every corner and object is outlined for the most accurate layout. Once the room has been fully scanned, you place your pond. If the initial placement isn't quite right, you can simply reset the scan and try again. When your pond is precisely where you want it, mark its position and start to add elements to customize your fishing experience. If you started from a previous build, your pond might already contain elements from an earlier fishing trip. In this case, you can simply reset the pond to clear all objects and start from scratch. Object icons can be found as drop-downs in the upper left corner of the screen, including fish objects, environmental objects, and the wooden fishing boat. Action icons such as delete, reset, save, undo, and redo are found in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. You cannot save the pond without adding a fishing boat. Validation prompts provide a reminder and ensure that the scene is complete. Now let's add some fish. You can add as many as 25, but that would be a very crowded pond, so let's start with one of each. Once added, fish can be positioned freely around the pond. The orientation can be manipulated by a simple two-finger swivel. If you're unsatisfied with the arrangement of any game object, prefer a previous setting, or feel that the pond is becoming overcrowded, you can simply undo, redo, or delete game objects until the pond is set to your preference. With our fish and debris now in place, we can set the fishing boat to complete the environment. Our reference object dictates that the tip of the triangle faces the forward direction of our fishing boat. This will come in handy when setting the scene for our virtual experience. With everything in place, we can now save the scene as a JSON file for transfer to the Quest 3 environment. Next, you locate the JSON file and transfer it to the headset. As you dive into the Passthrough version on Quest 3, you begin by importing your previously crafted scene from the JSON file, a blueprint of our augmented reality customization. Place the reference object on the floor with your right controller. The point of the triangle mirrors the forward-facing position of the boat. This anchors your customized game environment precisely in the real world, ensuring everything you do is spatially coherent. Once the object is in place on the floor, click the left joystick to launch the environment. The integration of the physical and virtual world is seamless. The space in your room becomes the water in your pond. Stepping into the virtual boat launches the fishing experience. The transparency of the real world mingles with the digitally created pond and its active objects, creating an immersive blend. Your fishing pole is positioned at your lower right and can be collected by grabbing it with the right controller, while your bait is situated at your lower left and can be collected and attached to the line by grabbing it with your left controller or by using the virtual hand and pointer. The pond teems with life with a low poly design that pulls from our creature features assets and natural sounds that complement the fishing experience. Our bait is a scaled down version of the air creature, land creature, and sea creature from assignment 1. The sea creature is the largest of the three and will catch the shark, while the land creature is scaled to catch the medium fish and the air creature is scaled to catch smaller fish. More than visuals, all interactive elements of the game are designed to simulate lifelike responses. The fishing pole responds to the force of your throws, while the boat reacts to your movements, rocking gently as if bobbing on the lake's real surface. The user interface is a constant feedback loop that transfers between a main interface and a visor to gauge line tension. The main user interface is dynamic, featuring a trophy case at the top third of the frame to herald your catches. The middle third offers visual instructions for gameplay, and the bottom third tallies your scores at each level. Correctly matching the bait to the fish is one of the many ways to influence your score, promoting an added engagement and attention needed to complete the game. To cast the line, you must correctly attach the bait using either your left controller, virtual hand, or virtual pointer to collect the appropriate bait and place it on the red orb above the reel on your fishing rod. Once the bait is attached, you can pull the rod back while continuing to compress the grab button and load the bait at the end of the rod with the trigger. When ready, you simply cast the rod forward with appropriate force and release the trigger to let the bait fly. Given that the simulation is meant to closely resemble lifelike experience, casting is a developed skill set that improves with practice. The water ripples when the bait lands and submerges for the fish to bite. You can reel your line by pulling down on the joystick and give it some slack by pressing the joystick forward. To pull the bait in a way that mirrors the end of your rod, simply tighten the line and hold it while moving your rod left and right to move closer to a nearby fish. When the correct fish are near the bait, they will detect it and break their random path to bite the bait. Once the fish has taken the bait, they will startle and sprint towards the perimeter of the pond. The tension meter will spike into the red or fall into the red if you don't engage the fish in a certain amount of time. Failure to engage will cause the line to break. To successfully reel in your fish, use the tension meter as a guide for the line slack and keep the meter in the green to earn points and pull the fish towards the boat. You can do this by repeatedly tapping the joystick down instead of simply holding it down. This is meant to promote engagement and at a varying level of difficulty for the user. Environmental debris is a hazard. Snagging your bait on the debris will break the line, cost you points, and reset the attempt. You can also reset the attempt at any point by pressing X on the left controller. The game continues until all the fish are caught and removed from the pond. If you have added to the pond multiple fish from the same group, these fish will be tallied in your trophy case at the top of the user interface. Once all the fish have been captured, the game over message will appear with a convenient reset button. The game also can be reset simply by clicking the left joystick at any point. The pass-through experience converts your personal space into a vibrant fishing pond. Now stay tuned for the fully immersive experience, which transports the user to a tranquil wilderness environment that complements the angling experience. When launching the game in Quest 3, you must first place the reference object to orient the anchored settings from the augmented reality application. Given that the triangle faces the forward direction of the boat, rotate the object accordingly and place it on the floor. Once the reference object is set, you're prompted to step into the fishing boat to begin the fishing experience. The virtual environment features a low-poly design which leverages many assets and fonts from Creatures features in Assignment 1. The gameplay incorporates sounds of nature, casting, and reeling of the fishing line, along with other lifelike effects such as a responsive fishing boat that rocks and wobbles with the adjustment of your weight. The dynamic interface features a trophy case for the fishes you catch in the top third, gameplay instructions in the middle third, and the player score in the bottom third. The beta is comprised of a scaled-down version of our 3 creatures from Assignment 1. The larger sea creature is used to catch a shark, the medium land creature is used to catch medium fish, and the smaller air creature is used to catch smaller fish. When not using virtual hands, you pick up the rod using the right controller's grab button. You pick up your assigned bait using the left controller's grab button. Placing the correct bait on the red bubble above the fishing reel will bait the line, transitioning the user interface to a tension meter for catching the fish. The virtual hand and pointer can be used to collect and attach bait as desired. You can simply reach down to grab the bait with your virtual hand or point and clamp it with your index finger and thumb before once again attaching it to the line. The line will reset when a fish is caught, and you will once again be prompted to select a new piece of bait to catch a specific fish. In addition to being rewarded for selecting the correct bait, points will be added for catching fish by size and skill. If bait is snagged on environmental debris, you will lose points and the line will reset. Once the correct bait is attached and you are ready to cast, simply pull back the rod and load the bait by holding the right trigger. Casting is meant to be as realistic as possible. The rod position and force of the throw can send the bait as far or short as intended. The ripple effects on the water indicate that the bait is submerged. You can reel or pull back directionally to entice the designated fish. Bait assigned to one fish will not be pursued by others. When a fish enters the immediate space of the bait, it will move towards the bait to take a bite. Once the bait is taken, the fish will startle and run towards the pond's perimeter in a random path. You must monitor the tension meter to reel in your fish and avoid snapping the line. Failure to engage will send the meter into the red, where a timer will dictate a line break. Flicking the right joystick down will engage the reeling process. Keeping the meter in the green will actively earn points and bring the fish closer to the boat. Fish are removed from the pond and placed in the trophy case once they are caught. If all fish associated with the type of bait have been caught, that bait will become inactive and can no longer be attached to the fishing rod. The game ends when all fish have been caught. The user interface will display the game over message with an option to restart. Gone Fishin' offers a fully immersive fishing experience set against the backdrop of a tranquil wilderness that complements the angling adventure.